As the test pilot lifts his 20-ton machine into the clear sky, news cameras capture the aerial ballet. All seems well, until suddenly one engine spits fire. The pilot fights the controls, trying to force the plane away from the crowd. Finally, he blasts himself into the sky, too late for his parachute to fully open. Despite his fall, the pilot survives without serious injury. As we can see, he remains with the craft and catapults himself away at the last possible second. At Ramstein, Germany, news cameras roll again as an Italian stunt team sweeps in perfect unison towards the worst airshow tragedy in history. One of the three doomed jets hurtles into the crowd, killing over 40 helpless fans. The catastrophe forces officials to set future aerial displays further away from the public. With official photographers recording the event, two Kuwaiti pilots begin their maneuver. Spectators notice that their formation is tighter than normal. Suddenly, disaster. Tragically, 3 of the 4 crew members are killed. In Albany, New York, home video cameras capture another unforeseeable disaster. The Canadian Air Force pushes massive CH-125 C-King rescue chopper through its station. Although crew members appear calm, the chopper starts showing signs of trouble. Those recording the event are suddenly shocked by what happens next. The chopper traps all 5 crewmen. Freeing himself, the crew chief barely manages to scramble out of the wreckage. Rescuers finally drag the rest to safety. 3 of the Sea King's crew require hospitalization for their injuries, but thanks to the bravery of the rescuers, there are no fatalities. At this tiny airstrip, a cameraman is filming when veteran pilot Scott Gordon develops a problem. The wheel bay under the plane's right wing is frozen shut. Scott's friend Jim Moser devises a desperate plan. It calls for Scott to land the plane's right wing down on a speeding flatbed trailer, which will act as a third wheel for the landing. A shift in the wind or in the velocity of either vehicle to throw them onto the runway. Jim slams the accelerator to the floor, and Scott floats down, just above stall speed. But the truck can't keep up. Still trapped in the sky, Scott okays a new plan. A desperation move that hinges on the courage of aircraft mechanic Joe Lippo. Joe gathers speed in a faster car and tries to flick open a lever under the plane's wing. Then he must literally hang from the lever to unjam the wheel. Into the button, Scott severs the controls to keep the 1,700-pound aircraft from crushing Joe. Altitude, 7 feet. The plane hovers inches above his head, but Joe doesn't flinch. Incredibly, Joe's plan worked. The grateful pilot's nerves hold steady. To judge the danger of Joe's mission, take another look. Today, Scott Gordon indulges his love of flying by piloting passenger jets for a major airline. The quest for breakneck speeds assumes another form here as giant raceboats streak across Florida's choppy waters. A news helicopter keeps pace. The aerodynamics of the hyperactive triple hull lift the craft well above the waves. Suddenly, the bow noses too high. Both men suffer multiple injuries, but survive. Drag boat fanatics always face grave risks, which cameras often capture. At 100 miles per hour, even the calmest water feels like concrete. In these scenes, we witness what can happen during high-speed aquatics. But sometimes, the danger extends beyond the water.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Davis in the water party. As we explained earlier.
Miraculously, all spectators and the driver survive the crash. But speed is not the only danger on the water. As this cameraman's video footage proves, a giant trawler, blinded by a pea soup fog, has just plowed into a small fishing boat, the Margaret Jane, which rapidly takes on water. Many of the 18 fishermen manage to find life jackets and dive into the icy water. The strongest swimmers try desperately to distance themselves from the sinking ship's whirlpool, but the giant vacuum sucks them under. Only those with flotation devices resurface. Lifeboats navigate blindly, guided only by the sound of faint cries cutting through the wall of fog. Most of the fishermen survive, but 4 of their comrades go down with the ill-fated Margaret Jane. Off the Australian coast, a news trapper can only watch as this man lives a sailor's worst nightmare. With engine failure and shredded sails, he flounders helplessly in giant swells. A 30-foot wave slams the sloop, sweeping the skipper overboard and into the deadly surf. Incredibly, he manages to claw his way back onto the boat. Meanwhile, a Coast Guard rescue cutter engine, and it too must fight for its life. The ocean tosses the cutter like a bathtub toy. Now the would-be rescuers themselves need rescuing. A Coast Guard chopper must maneuver close enough for them to grab the skids. The danger lies in colliding with the unpredictable boat, or the men themselves. Finally, the exhausted skipper reaches safety while the chopper returns one more time for the last crewman. local cameraman shoots this footage of an ignited oil tank in southern Texas as it spews a 3,000-degree fireball into the air. Firemen finally win their battle against the flames, and an eerie calm descends on the scene. The fire seems out. The firefighters gear down and prepare to leave. Then a red-hot piece of metal combusts with the still boiling fumes. The entire tank explodes in a raging fireball that sends firemen and onlookers running for their lives. Although no one is seriously injured, the explosion scorches several firemen with second-degree burns. As a Honolulu news team films from high above, another oil refinery reminds us of the awesome power of fire. When flames erupt, the entire harbor is threatened. With courage and skill, firefighters bring the still blazing inferno under control. But when Kenneth Yamamoto and his fellow firemen move to squelch the flames, Yamamoto has no idea what awaits him. As Yamamoto and his partner brave the searing heat, the fire suddenly leaps out of control. Reacting instinctively, his fellow fireman smothers a scorching flame. In replay, Yamamoto dives under the layer of water and foam. His training makes the difference between life and death. On this quiet Boston street, police discover a pipe bomb in front of the Arab Anti-Discrimination League offices. Experts secure the bomb with a 20-foot line, guided gingerly and suspended in the city's mobile anti-demolition unit. A daring news cameraman is on hand to film the hazardous procedure. The pipe is large enough to hold plastic explosives that may look and feel like silly putty, but can detonate with the force of dynamite. Demolition expert Randy LaMattina prepares to explode the bomb in an empty field. First, he must remove the bomb from the container, but the explosive has wedged itself into the canister and cannot be removed by pulling on its tow line. Unfortunately, the only alternative is to remove the bomb by hand. Though receiving deep shrapnel wounds, a concussion and multiple facial lacerations, Randy survives the blast.
We're going to find out shortly.
Some sports may appear reckless, even dangerous, but these rugged midget cars in Adelaide, Australia, routinely crash without causing much harm.
What did I tell you about touching? And there goes another one.
Ironically, a slower pace sometimes produces the most dangerous results, as this videotape shows us.
do not start.
With his horrified wife watching from the stands, rookie Linton Connors absorbs a rear-end collision that ruptures his fuel line. A relatively minor accident turns into a grisly nightmare. Connor's seatbelt locks him in the flames, but trained rescue crews expect to douse the fire within seconds and get him out. Risking his own life, driver Ted Alabacos, dressed in blue, rushes to the increasingly frantic rescue effort. The heat throws him back. In the commotion, a vehicle tries to push Connors away from the fuel spill, but almost crushes one of the rescue workers. Then the situation worsens. The massive iron bars designed to protect Connors become a cage, roasting him alive. Alabacos tries again in a desperate attempt to release his friend. He finally locates the safety buckle. Connors finally emerges after being burned alive for nearly 2 full minutes. Escaping with his life, he is taken to Royal Adelaide Hospital to begin months of treatment and rehabilitation for severe burns. Like Ferris wheels everywhere, this one in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, promises the thrill of getting above it all. By pure coincidence, a vacationer's video camera captures an unforgettable event. A young girl has been tossed from her car in an accident caused by another passenger. She dangles dangerously high above the crowd. Meanwhile, 2 park employees risk their lives to come to her aid. The park workers finally disengage the injured girl and ultimately lead her to safety. Since 1987, cameras have recorded many of the 2 million Americans taking these leaps of faith. For example, Kathy McCullum gave her husband David his first bungee jump as their wedding anniversary present. David's entire family watches as a crane pulls him 180 feet in the air. This will be his first jump. Although he shatters his left leg, David is lucky to survive. In the rugged Chugach Range outside Valdez, Alaska, several cameras film the World Extreme Skiing Championships. Garrett Bartlett shows plenty of guts and confidence as he challenges dizzying heights and stomach-churning drops. But then nature strikes back.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Shit.
Bartlett survives this fall, but hypothermia remains a life-threatening danger. The steep slopes prevent the emergency chopper from reaching him. Paramedic Tim Coughlin sets and splints his broken leg while others try to stop his blood loss.
You felt any other pain since we...
Nah, I think it's just on leg.
Yeah.
An hour later, their rescue toboggan brings Bartlett to the chopper. Although he has lost this round, Bartlett plans to challenge the mountain as soon as he recovers. Nature also strikes at those who never sought to challenge its power. Flash floods like this one in Australia can turn calm streets into death zones. "11,000 miles away, residents of Tijuana, Mexico, lulled by years of drought, pay the price of nature's unexpected fury. Only one of these young men was saved. Here in Las Vegas, Nevada, cameras rush to cover a breaking news story. No one knows if anyone is pinned underneath this submerged Jeep. Rescuers work quickly, even though they know it's unlikely anyone could survive underwater for the 20 minutes that have passed since the accident. Rescuers coordinate a desperate effort to flip over the vehicle. When they succeed, they make a dramatic discovery. A body is trapped face down under the steering wheel. There are no signs of life, no pulse, no heartbeat. The driver is flatlined. Still, the rescuers don't give up. They treat the victim as if he still has a chance. body breaks free, Captain Perry Hort ignores his own safety and plunges in after it. Paramedics rush the lifeless body to University Medical Center, where doctors connect it to an experimental machine that rewarms the blood. It has never been tried on a human being. Miraculously, the victim survives, thanks not only to the machine, but to the rescuers' refusal to abandon hope. You are watching the birth of the first tornado ever captured on film or video. Magically appearing out of nowhere, this graceful funnel hides its furious rage behind an eerily beautiful shape. But at every passing moment, it grows bigger, stronger, faster, and even more deadly. Swerving unpredictably, it spreads terror through Wichita, Kansas. There is literally nowhere to run or hide. A 100 times larger and more destructive than a tornado, Hurricane Iniki announces itself long before arriving to wreak its devastation on the Hawaiian Islands. In Florida, Hurricane Andrew kills 32 people, leaves 160,000 others homeless, and racks up $25 billion of destruction. It is the costliest disaster in U.S. history. But disaster knows no boundaries. When gale force winds build heavy swells just off the South Korean coast, a local cameraman records nature's fury. Giant waves rise from the ocean and attack the port of Pusan. The waves turn ugly, battering freighters and trapping sailors on board before they have a chance to escape. One sailor takes a desperate gamble to save his life. A surging wave slams him against the wall of iron. A second man leaps, and the sea pulls him down into the deadly wash. A third man remains on board the sinking ship. If it goes down, the suction will pull him under as well. But if he leaps into the churning water, he faces the fate of his drowned partners. The camera captures his desperate decision. Fortunately, the rescuers don't let him down, and for his courage, he is rewarded with his life. In the Bering Sea, an ocean of ice traps the Alaskan Monarch.
The Gumby suit outside.
No.
A Coast Guard chopper rescues all the crew, except the chief engineer and captain, who hope to save their crippled ship. Their cause is hopeless, but when the men decide to abandon ship, it's now too late. The engineer manages to claw up on top of the twisting ice, but the Monarch's captain slips into the ocean depths, pinned beneath the shifting, grinding blocks of ice. His engineer reaches safety. While underwater, the drowning captain pushes weakly at the stubborn ice to find a breathing hole. Somehow he emerges. Thanks to his rescuers, the captain manages to escape certain death. In Knoxville, Tennessee, a bank robbery turns pursuing police officers into unexpected rescuers. Ex-convict Jesse Castro Adams, heavily armed, is the suspect. News cameras are on scene for a drama that is about to unfold as the suspect has the entire neighborhood under siege. Police attempt to end the standoff peacefully, but Adams opens fire from the barricaded house. The immediate mission of the Knoxville police and the FBI is not only to keep the gunman at bay, but to move neighbors out of harm's way. Officer Richard Giammarino was hit twice by gunfire. His fellow Knoxville officers, along with FBI agents, put themselves at grave risk as they attempt to rescue him. With Adams still barricaded, the SWAT team prepares for what it hopes will be its final assault. But smoke grenades and tear gas fail to force Adams from his well-fortified position. Defying all reason, Adams resumes his reign of terror. Then suddenly, an unexpected turn of events. Adams comes out, but with his gun pointed at his heart, threatening to kill himself.
Come on, Donnie, just drop it, okay? There's no worries, Donnie, just drop it. We don't need to do this. Just drop the gun, everything will be okay.
A Knoxville police marksman takes aim, not to kill, but to save. With split-second timing, he fires. FBI and local police have ended Adams' 4-hour standoff without a single fatality. Sometimes an officer must walk a fine line between apprehending a suspect and saving a life. That dilemma rises again in Brooklyn, New York, where a freelance photographer records a troubled man challenging the police to a shootout. Officers below negotiate with him, but he taunts police to fulfill his own death wish. Once again, officers switch gears from capturing a suspect to rescuing a suspect. An NYPD sharpshooter takes aim. And his aim is true. Had it not been for the sharpshooter, the man's death wish might have come true. In Sacramento, news cameras cover this incredible drama live as a group of gang members hold an entire store hostage. Suddenly there is a gunshot and a hostage goes down. Police soon find out that the victim has agreed to be shot in the leg in exchange for his freedom. All he must do is deliver his captor's message to the police and the media. As the wounded man crawls to safety, a SWAT team enters the rear of the building. They hide in a storage room in contact with their commander via radio. Police learn that the 4 suspects are immigrants from Southeast Asia and are deeply troubled by their problems assimilating in the U.S. They claim they are on a suicide mission to call attention to their gang and to their problem. Inside, the suspects select which hostages are to be executed. Meanwhile, a deputy meets the gang's demand for a bulletproof vest. The gunmen tether a young woman with a cord and order her to retrieve the vest. A sniper's bullet misses its target and triggers an explosive reaction. Instantly, the gunman opens fire on his bound victims. Deputies burst in from the rear of the store, shooting to kill. Officers drag the tethered woman to safety, while inside, the SWAT team completes their bloody mission. In the tragic aftermath, 3 hostages perish. 11 are wounded. 3 teenage gunmen die in the exchange of gunfire. But the rescue effort has saved 37 innocent lives. In the next real-life drama, cameras from a local Salt Lake news station record the dramatic action as it happens. The suspect, Jorge Santiago, has taken his estranged wife, Gloria Quinones, as hostage. Now he threatens to kill her. He has already wounded her best friend. Police try to keep Santiago calm until a trained hostage negotiator can arrive. Before the negotiator gets there, Santiago forces their hand. He shoots Gloria twice. Police respond with a hail of bullets. A medevac chopper rushes the grievously wounded Gloria to a nearby hospital where doctors save her life. Sometimes the camera not only captures the story, but becomes part of the story. That's the case with Mike Silva, a TV news helicopter pilot who joins the Denver police force in pursuit of an armed robber. As he flees, the suspect loses control of his escape vehicle. Now he's forced to run on foot. In radio contact with the police, Mike Silva plays an increasingly crucial role. The suspect searches frantically for a means of escape. He encounters 2 potential hostages. The suspect allows the woman to leave, but forces her elderly father to drive. The police and Silva know how dangerous this man is. While fleeing the scene of the crime, he has already killed Denver detective Robert Wallace. In a moment of truth, Pilot Silva makes a bold decision. He steps aside from his role of observer and takes on the role of hero. Risking his life, he tries to block the escaping suspect with his chopper. As police close in, the suspect refuses to give up. Incredibly, the hostage is unharmed. Thanks to the heroic efforts of Mike Silva, a life is saved. In this sequence, an amateur photographer captures a shocking turn of events. Phoenix fireman Jeff Griffin is about to experience every fireman's worst fear. The roof begins to give. Just as they reach their comrade, the roof opens up and swallows another victim. Disaster seems inevitable, but the firefighters forge ahead. All of the firefighters emerged safely from what seemed to be a certain fiery death. Cameras now focus on the site of a burning apartment building. As flames devour this Indianapolis apartment, the firefighters are stretched so thin that even the fire marshal, Daniil Banks, must pitch in. High atop a ladder, he grabs a woman through the billows of smoke. What appears to be a routine ladder rescue suddenly goes wrong.
Got any more up there, Daniel? Two more. Hey, Phil. She okay?
Both Banks and the woman survive with minor injuries. In the firefighters' world, survival is the only benchmark of success. An apartment fire rescue is dangerous enough, but a high-rise fire is even more so. All too often, this is the dilemma facing the firefighters of New York City. Here, smoke and flames trap Jose Gallegos, 11 stories above downtown Manhattan. The city's Elite Rescue 1 unit is called in. They determine that there is only one rescue that will work, coming down from the roof, not up from the ground. Firefighter Patrick Barr is slowly lowered down to the victim. But once Barr reaches Gallegos, they cannot pull him and the victim up, and the rope is too short to reach the ground. As Barr dangles with only a precarious grip on Gallegos, both their lives literally hang in the balance on a 1/2-inch nylon rope. Holding on for dear life, Barr lets go of the rope with one hand and cracks open a window. Immediately, he gets the attention of the firefighters on that floor. Within moments, they act. They lean far out the window, trying to hook the swinging rope. At last, they succeed. When a troubled man decides to leap from a 10-story building, a freelance cameraman is there to capture the drama. New York City's Emergency Services Unit drills constantly for these operations, but every suicide alert is different and every second counts. First, the ESU officers surround and contain the would-be jumper.
Come on, talk to me. I can't get down now. I'm like you. Talk to me.
Then begins the most difficult and dangerous phase, keeping the victim calm and then coaxing him back to safety. The crowd below callously urges the depressed man to jump, adding more danger to the moment. The ESU sense that the crowd might get their wish. The suicidal man seems determined to end his life. The officers try one last time to coax him off the ledge, but time and options are running out. Officer Bob Steinman feels that a more aggressive move is necessary, even if it means risking his own life. In our final sequence, the camera is simply there to shoot a documentary for Hawaii Electric. The big man lowering the helicopter hook is Vietnam vet Warren Amaral, affectionately known as Tiny. The helicopter pilot is Steve Cox, who flew choppers in Vietnam. What starts as a routine lift suddenly turns into terror as the chopper malfunctions. The machine traps him underwater. Tiny and his crew rush to Steve's aid. The alarm system warns that it could explode at any moment. Afraid that the chopper may blow any minute, other crew members keep their distance. Despite imminent danger, Tiny and another crew member won't give up. The crash has nearly severed the pilot's arm. He's losing critical amounts of blood and going into shock. If he remains trapped, he will soon die. But Tiny refuses to let a fellow vet perish like this, after all they've been through together. Incredibly, Tiny lifts the 1,600-pound chopper.
Get his leg up. Okay, 2 legs. Huh? Pull up. Oh, you got him. You got 2 legs. Oh. Hold him up. Bring him on in. Bring him on in. Watch it out. Bring him on. Pull his head up. Pull his head up. I don't want him. Okay.
Tiny and his crew cover the pilot to keep him warm. The paramedics fly the patient to the hospital, where he undergoes successful surgery.
Don't worry about it, brother. Take care of yourself, man.
In this program, we have witnessed fires, floods, freak accidents, and large-scale disasters. But in our final scene, a single man's heroism is caught on camera.